Today we're going to turn this little guy into an unstoppable monster. Step number 1 is abusing the life out of this thing. That earns us lots and lots of money, which is how we buy new fighters, and the more new fighters we buy, the better we can make because we combine them together. We put these two together, we'll buy a few more, we put these two together, and then we can put these two together, and that makes an even better fighter, which is going to make us even more money in the arena. We just gotta figure out how to put him in there. So he's in there fighting. We're gonna make one of these guys. I don't think we can combine these together. But since we already have $10,000 to spend, let's make another orange wearing guy, which I think takes that many. Those two, these two, and I can't count. So after our blonde haired guy, we get one of these who's an even better fighter again. We're gonna go ahead and put him in there, and they're fighting each other now. Didn't realize that was a thing, but I'll allow it. Let's let them fight while they build up some money. I'm now getting much more money per second because of that. So we're making $44 a second already. We can also upgrade these guys, so instead of 9 per second, he's now making 18 per second, 27 per second. So that's going to increase our money a lot. And every time I punch the dummy, $19, which is great because I have an auto clicker, which is going to help a little bit. That noise though, really fun to listen to. So anyways, now we can afford arena upgrade, which gets me plus 10% earnings and puts a spooky skull back on the fence. $20 per click. I don't know if we can just add more. Oh, we can just continually add idiots to the arena. I didn't know that before. It's going to cost $2,300 for a new fighter though, so they're going to start getting harder and harder to afford. Okay, then when I want to pull them out of the arena, I can just click on them, we can afford a new fighter, put them together, and then put them into the arena, where they perpetually get stabbed in the face with a very sharp sword. And I guess I might as well upgrade some of these. Why are these locked? So these are just definitely going to be worth it to upgrade. Like this guy's going to go from $29 to $56 per second. Plus I like the sound they make when we upgrade them. And eventually we're going to go from the clubby boy all the way down to this massively armored monster. I can't wait to see what he's like. But those upgrades put us up to $200 per second and $60 for every time we punch this thing. So let's buy a few more upgrades. It's only $1,600 to upgrade. That was a big one. And since we're making money really quickly now, let's do that a few more times. He's up to $140 per second. I don't know if these lesser ones are going to be worth it to upgrade, but this one might be because that was an extra $9 per second and we get those upgrades fast. And now we get $114 to punch the thing, so let's do it quicker. That noise, I'm never going to get over that noise. Anyways, we made $121,000, which means we get an arena upgrade for extra earnings. Plus we can afford a few new fighters. So let's start smashing these together until they make some kind of sense, so we can actually take one of these guys out. Now we can find what's after the blue guy. So we're going from $78 a second. He turns into the guy with the large sword, so we'll throw him back in. 196 plus this guy, 233. And while we're waiting, we made another $6,000 to make another basic idiot. That means every 4 seconds we make $1,000. And every time I click this right now is $76. If I buy a new fighter and put him in, that goes up to 83, so that makes a difference. So let's go ahead and save up some money so we can fill this arena with fighters. Well, 120,000 should buy a few at $9,000 a fighter. We'll see how many we actually get. We managed to fill it up and we have no space for new fighters. So now we're making $983 per click. But what happens if we put these all in? That puts us up to $141 per click. That's actually a pretty big increase. And that's great because we need to listen to this that much less. That's quickly earned us $220,000. So let's remove some of these basic idiots and then smash them all together as we do. But we're going to start needing so many, it's going to be very hard to upgrade these at some point. But for now, we'll drop him in there, 432. We'll buy some more basic morons. Wow, they're getting expensive. But now at least we can start putting them together to bigger, better heights. And oh, we can even make a new one of these, which means we get a new top-end fighter. So you guys go together, we get some kind of assassin who's worth 181 by himself, so not super worth it. We've really just kind of got to let a lot of the fighters build up. It's like it's more worth it to have more fighters. Now I'm only getting 54 per dummy. So you know what? I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, I've earned $500,000, so we're going to load up on new fighters again that are now level 2s. Then if I put them all into the arena, that'll take us from $181 a second all the way up to $744. And now when I hit this thing, 223. So I think it's worth it to combine them, add a new one. We need to have a full arena. Plus that's just a lot more stabbing going on, and that's really what we're here for. So now when I do the annoying noise, it's so much quicker. Then $350,000, this means we get a 5% upgrade to the arena. Then we got another $400,000 to spend, so let's combine these two. We'll buy another one. If we have enough to buy another fighter, we make another one of these. We bring another one in. Then since we can afford it, we'll combine those two, bring another one in. And then after throwing them in the arena, that's $1,000 per second finally. $299 on a click. Then when we do this, it's even faster again. Then it really doesn't take long to very quickly make $1 million, which naturally we're going to use to buy more idiots and maybe even upgrade a few of them. They're definitely starting to get expensive. They're $300,000 to buy one now. But then when we put them all into the arena, we're going to see the earnings 1,300. So we got 30% more money. And that means every click is about $400. And then we're going to spend another $1.7 million doing the same thing again, except this time we're going to start combining better fighters into better fighters. Since we can afford one more, we're going to go ahead and combine those two and bring a new one in. We can still afford one more, so we'll put the blue guys into that guy. Then we'll put him in and see if this is a more cost-effective way of doing it. We're making less money now than we were before. How does that make sense? What am I missing? Oh, I forget we can upgrade these guys too. That's probably a big part of it. Like, these guys actually make more than these, and that only costs $4,000 to upgrade. Yep, don't worry about me. I know what I'm doing. We've got lots of these guys, so I'm going to spend a lot of money upgrading them. 20 levels is good for now. These guys are going to be really cost-effective on their upgrades. We don't have a ton of these right now, but this guy we certainly have a lot of, or one of, but he's very valuable. There we go, up to $5,000 a second. We have mostly these yellow guys. So let's upgrade them a whole bunch. Each one of these is a 10% upgrade, so you can imagine the money is going to start going up. Okay, we started upgrades up to about $50,000 worth. We're up to $5,700 per second. And when I click, $2,000. So it's just a matter of figuring out which one of these we want to upgrade further. They're all going to be worth a lot. We'll get them all up to about $10,000 per upgrade. All while making them fight to the death, which is still really funny. This guy is $130 per second every time we upgrade him. This guy, not quite 100. So there we go, $6,500 a second. Now when we do the auto clicking, we make about 100 grand a second. So it's not hard to make $12 million. I'm just not really sure what we do with $12 million, but we'll turn more of the guys into orange guys and then buy more of these, and we'll probably turn those into more orange guys. We'll buy more of these, and maybe we should keep working on the upgrade train. So those two go together into one of those, which go together into one of those. Then we'll replace with some more base level idiots, but we're also going to combine into the next one of these, which is this guy, a knight with a mustache. We still have lots of money left over, so we're going to go ahead and combine more of these. We'll put these together because I assume I can afford more for a second. That really is a lot of money when it comes down to it, because now we can go like that. 800,000 per fighter though, so we could really only afford one more for now. But think about how much money this is going to be once we put them all in there. They're getting so high end, and we haven't even upgraded the super guy yet. 5,300. So this guy goes from 437 to 801. He's getting like a 400 per second boost every time we buy this. So we're going to buy a lot of him. We've also got 3 of the blue guys, so we need to upgrade them as much as we can. Oh, I just realized I haven't even put my strongest guy in there. No wonder the earnings aren't there yet. $9,500 a second. So he's going to pay for his own upgrades. It's going to take him like 7 seconds and he's got it. And hitting the dummy is now $3,000. Then we're going to buy another arena upgrade for $1 million. That's reasonably cheap. And now there's spiky pillars should anyone ever attack our training grounds. Okay, I kind of want to experiment with something now because we can get away with this. Let's combine everything into the highest level fighter we can possibly do right now, which might not actually make that big of a difference. But I'm thinking now that we've upgraded things, we might actually be able to get something super high end with a few quick upgrades could be worth a lot. A man with a spear. He himself is worth 1,300 per second, but every upgrade for only $100,000 gets us an extra 1,000 per second. So him by himself is now, 9,000 per second. So it's probably worth it to do that because now we're up to 14,000 per second. So we just need to keep upgrading into the high-end things and then upgrading that particular person. Plus every click is up to $4,000, so that's going to add up reasonably quick. Then we're going to sink another $10 million into him, so that should get him some pretty hardy upgrades. He's going from 9,000 per second all the way up to 20,000 per second. He's over doubled his earnings. Now we're up to $31,000 a second, 10,000 for every hit. And that's definitely pretty good because the new fighters are costing $3 million each. But we're making $1 million every 2 seconds. And I'm also going to upgrade the arena again for $3 million. We're maybe going to upgrade the arena twice because that's just an extra 5% earnings and that's really big. Now it's got lots of wood. Then I'm going to go get some water while this adds up to an ungodly amount. And just like that, there's $50 million. So we're going to buy new fighters. We're straight up buying these guys at this point, which is good because they're going to blow up into something very big very quickly. These basic level guys, I don't know what we're going to do with them. They might just be stuck forever. And I'm okay with that. But long story short, now we have another one of these guys, which are very valuable. We're going from 33,000 a second to 38,000. And we got so much money, we're going to upgrade him a whole bunch too, to the point where his upgrades are costing about $1 million each. But now we're up to $47,000 a second. 14,000 for every punch, and we can punch a lot. I just noticed at the top too, this plus 20%, that used to be 60%, I think, when I had a full arena. So if I buy more idiots, does that number go up? Fighters are so expensive. 20, yeah, we get an extra 5% per idiot in the arena. Okay, that makes sense. So that put us up to 51,000 a second, so we just need to buy more idiots and put them in the arena. This guy will put us from 51 to 53,000. And their upgrades are still reasonably cheap. We're gonna buy just a few upgrades. it's not really worth it. Just having people in the arena is, however. Very quickly made another $74 million, so let's buy a few more fighters that we're going to add. Still can't afford the last two, but that's still going to be a big increase to earnings, 62,000. And there's another $100 million, so we can definitely buy another 2 idiots and throw them into the arena. Then we can also upgrade the arena itself. 69 per second. I feel like this is victory. We've won the game. And I've also decided to try the 2x speed finally, so we're up to 139,000 per second. So we might as well take advantage of this. So we're making like $2 million, $3 million a second. I also didn't realize I had these going on, so I could have been claiming medals this entire time. Anyways, there's $278 million. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of these guys together. We're going to replace them with some more of them. We can't afford a ton of new fighters because they're really, really expensive at this point, but we can afford a few. So we'll put those two together. We'll buy one of those. And then we got a lot of these orange guys, and we'll upgrade them with our last $25 million. And every upgrade for them is getting us quite a bit of money itself. And I should probably still spend money upgrading this guy. Because every time we do that, that's an extra 1,000 something per second, and we're playing to a lot of seconds. Like, this is a $10 million upgrade, but now we're up to $215,000 a second on double speed. Without double speed, it's $110,000 a second, but I've discovered something else I can do. I can always go back and buy basic level fighters for only 54,000, and that's to fill up here. So what we're going to do for now is bring everyone out, and then we're going to make some new important guys, like this new Green Lancer guy, because these guys are huge amounts of money by themselves. That's 51,000, put him in 105,000. So we're just going to try and build the highest level idiots we can for now. And then when we need to fill the space for our bonus, all we got to do is buy these basic level idiots. They are going to get more expensive, but for now they're going to get bonuses because they don't add up to much by themselves. But as long as they're in the arena, that puts our bonus way up, and that's going to put us up to $140,000 per second and 42,000 every time I click the dummy. And that means it's probably worth it to upgrade this guy again. It's 10 million per upgrade, but it's going up by 1,000 times 2, 2,000 per second every time we touch this button. Then I did another speed boost, so we're up to $335,000 a second plus all this, which means we're getting reasonably close to $10 million a second. So I'm gonna go drink some water. Hey, look at that, we're a billionaire with 4 decimal points to explain exactly how much money we have. I guess we might as well upgrade the arena at this point. That's not gonna hurt anything. It feels like such an insignificant amount of money. I guess the problem with buying so many basic level idiots too is you gotta combine a lot of basic level idiots, and I don't have time for that. I'm clearly a very busy person. But we'll do this the proper way now. We'll buy an orange guy for 1.5 million to combine into a blue guy to combine into whatever's next. We need another blue guy removal. They cost $80 million each at this point, so that's going to start to add up pretty quick. 174 million for this one, but I mean they combine into bigger, better things. So that turned into this many of these guys, which is going to turn into one of these guys. If we go ahead and throw him on there, 155,000 a second without any extra bonuses. Okay, I'm going to buy, since these aren't actually that expensive anymore, we're at least going to buy these. Then next time I need to fill everything up, we don't need to combine quite so much. So they've all been put in, $190,000 a second, 57,000 every time I punch idiot. I guess it is still cheaper to build them this way though, isn't it? We've also combined everything there, so we can put these two into another one of these guys, which is huge money. We need to make more of these guys. So if these are only 138,000, is it worth it? Like, we need to buy a lot of them, but I assume it's maybe still cheaper to do it this way. I guess we'll find out soon. The game seems to like to reward me for doing this. So 3 of these guys is still cheaper than one of these, but only just. Now the balance is tipped, so it's probably cheaper to buy, well, 3 of these is about one of those. But these guys are still way cheaper than the blue guy because I bought a lot of those. So we need to create blue guys without buying them. But I think this is going to work out okay. It's just a matter of actually paying attention to what I'm doing. So these guys are going to be my favorite thing to buy for a while because they're going to translate into huge value. Well, we're quickly already running out. By the time these guys get to about $70 million each, it's worth it just to buy blue guys again. But for now, we'll take advantage of these easy upgrades, especially because they're pushing all the way into this guy again. All right, we're already at the point where we're back to buying blue guys, which cost $200 million each. I can afford it. So we'll put them into one of them, which will put them into one of them. So we'll put them into the arena and then fill out the space and go back to earning. So we'll use these guys so we don't have to have the most basic level idiots filling up space. All right, now we're making $1 million, over $1 million every 4 seconds without me having to click. If I do click, $83,000. I've just put another $1 billion in the bank, and I think it's time to maybe combine some of these guys to see what's next, because that's free to do. She has a pitchfork. She's very angry. She by herself is worth $4,000 a second. We've got $1 billion to spend on upgrades though, so that's exactly what we're gonna do. She's going up by like $3,000 every time we click this. So already she's about to pass the prior guy, and she's still going strong because her upgrades are still really, really cheap. So we're going to need more of this lady. Okay, she's coming up to $100,000 all by herself. Upgrades are getting a little cheaper, but I do have over $1 billion to spend. So we'll go up to about $100 million per upgrade. Then she's going to go in there, and we're up to $717,000 a second. Plus we can buy one more. Yep. So what do we spend the next $1.6 billion on? Well, let's see how we can combine the idiots at this point. So far we got him up to here, which means we get another one of these, which means we get another one of these, which means we get another one of these, and another one of these. So these by themselves, $400,000 for 2 idiots. Actually, that kind of makes you wonder what comes after these then. I spent a lot of money upgrading to these. Is that going to be worth it? Yeah, let's do it. A scared man with a scimitar. He by himself is worth 18,000, but I think with some upgrades he's going to go higher. Every time we upgrade him, $10,000 a second. So as long as we can get him reasonably high, he's going to go places. He's already just about double the prior level, so there we go. He's double what she was worth, and he's considerably lesser levels. We're going to go up to about $100 million in upgrades. He's $307,000 by himself. So we need more of these guys. Anyways, he's in. We don't have any bonuses because we only have one idiot in our arena, but we can straight up buy these guys now. They're $355 million, which means it's way cheaper to buy these for now. 2 of these is 70 million and makes one of them. So we're going to buy a bunch of these. And these are probably actually strong enough that if I combine them, they're going to turn into something pretty good all by themselves. So those are going to turn into, one of these, which is very, very good by itself. And we can still buy more of the oranges. 212 million. So it is actually cheaper to buy these, but that balance changes quickly. But if we throw these people in, 638,000 per second, plus we'll fill in the rest of the idiots. We'll just buy these basic guys. They cost a few $1,000,000 each. And every time we put one of these in, we get like $20,000 a second, so $800,000 a second, plus we got lots of upgrades to go. I guess we're probably overdue to upgrade the arena, considering that's only $250 million. Probably might as well do that again, because we have now 10% more earnings than we just did. We're making $1.65 million a second on double speed. And so let's spend another $5 billion upgrading whatever we can. So we need one more orange man to be able to push that forward, but it's going to be more worth it to buy assassins for a second. Even though they're adding up quickly, we're going back to these because it's more worth it. And you see how we keep working ourselves backwards, but we're going to buy another one of the spearmen, which turn into them, which are very valuable. Then these two combine into that, which turns into a spearman. And that actually puts us a lot closer to being able to buy an even better upgrade. I guess we still have $2.5 billion. We can upgrade him a couple times, but I really should just try and fill out the roster with whatever I can money-wise. But then every time I do, I start finding more of these, and then I want to just combine everything because I can't help myself. So we'll go back to buying some basic idiots just to fill out our bonus. Because just having these guys will take us from 1 million all the way up to 1.2 million. So that is legitimately a 20% increase, and over time that's going to add up. We're making 1.2 million without any bonus. So with the bonus, 2.4 million. Every time I touch this, 708,000. So let's make some money. So now we're making between $50 and $100 million every second. A few minutes later, $33.5 billion to our name. So we're probably a little bit overdue to start putting things back together, which means we can buy this many of these, which can turn into this, which can turn into this, which can turn into this, which turns into 2 of these. These guys by themselves are $1.2 million currently, but they turn into this guy who's got a massive warhammer. He's worth $30,000 at his base. So after a few upgrades, I think we're going to get our money out of him. So every time we do this, we're getting like $12,000 per second. So that's quite a lot of money per second. So we're just going to go ahead and rapid fire through a little bit of this. We can easily spend hundreds of millions of dollars. In fact, we can spend billions. It's not going to hurt anything. We've still got $33 billion to our name. So then how do we fill out the rest of our lineup? Well, we're going to buy a few of these guys because they're only like $1 billion each. Maybe even a few of these guys just because we can actually afford them. Then a few more of these. And I think our lineup's about full now of these things. So we'll go ahead and throw all these in, and then I think we're going to be making some pretty good money after all that. 1.15 million. We can upgrade some of these too. They're pretty cheap for now, and that'll add up. So the upgrades did actually push them up to about 1.24 million. These guys turn into those. It's probably worth it to keep pushing into higher end things because those turn into that, which we know is super valuable. Like these guys can already turn into one of those or turn into one of those, and these are also super valuable. There's 1.2 million just because we did that. And so this is without any bonuses. And it really is nice the way we can buy some of these. We could actually buy 2 of these. Is definitely cheaper than those, so we're going to buy a bunch of the oranges because they're just a way cheaper way of buying those, which turns into one of those, which turns into one of those, which turns into one of these. $1.6 million a second. And then we can fill out the rest of the lineup just with cheaper things. 1.9 million every second. If I touch this, there's 600,000. I can see now things are starting to slow down progress-wise. $36 billion to spend, however. So let's see what we can create now. What kind of little monster? So just working with what we have down below, we can already make all the way up to this guy, which is huge. And then we can buy these guys. It's cheaper right now to buy 2 of these, but only barely. So we'd have to start doing some calculating, but generally it's cheaper to go something like that and trying to keep track of everything here. So we go like that, so we go like that, and then we go like that. Then I'm probably going to get lazy about doing math, so we're going to buy 2 of those, and then 2 of these, so that we can put all that together, and I still screwed that up. Basically, it's all supposed to look like that, and that puts us up to almost $4 million a second at 2 times speed. Every time we hit the dummy, $1 million. But then we need some base level guys to fill out for our bonuses, so we're going to buy maybe that many of those, and we're going to fill out the rest somewhere here. And then once we get all these guys into the party, then our money is going to be our true value, $2.27 million every single second. Every time we punch this, 683,000. So let's let this run for 4 weeks and see what we've got.